Championship leader Charles Leclerc will start on pole for the inaugural Miami Grand Prix after leading a Ferrari 1-2 in a fiercely fought qualifying as top spot slipped through Max Verstappen's fingers, but with drivers pushing the limits of the fast new street track that surrounds Miami's Hard Rock Stadium, Verstappen had led hanging into the tense final laps before behind leapfrogged Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. Trying to retaliate, Verstappen, Leclerc's title rival of course, made a critical error through his first sector on his final lap of Q3. Leclerc eventually topped the shootout by 0.2 seconds from Sainz and Verstappen, taking his third pole in the season's 5 races so far, with Ferrari having their first front row lockout since Mexico 2019. We are starting on pole, we need to finish the job, said Leclerc, who had a poor error in Imola last weekend, of course. Verstappen, meanwhile, focused on the positives despite his mistake and insisted he was surprised he was even in the fight for pole after missing much of Friday's running. Mercedes having topped Friday to prompt hopes of a top 3 team fight at the top were never in contention in qualifying, and Lewis Hamilton was their lead car in 6th, 8/10 off the pace. George Russell, who was fast in practice too, didn't even make Q3, being knocked out in 12th as he complained of bouncing and having no confidence in the W13. There was of course no match for the Ferrari and Red Bulls. Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo were the other surprise Q2 casualties. Hamilton returning to Q3 will start behind former teammate Valtteri Bottas on the third row ahead of Lando Norris for the race, which starts at 8:30 UK time tomorrow. But moving on then, the Miami Grand Prix qualifying didn't disappoint in terms of close competition at the front, while another reminder that just when you think the 2022 momentum is with one team, it certainly swings to another. Red Bull dominated in Imola, and the long straights of Miami International Autodrome were expected to suit their car, but Ferrari were the ones who asked their rivals on Saturday. In fairness to Red Bull, they may well have taken pole if it wasn't for Verstappen's error at turn 5, which prompted an expletive-laden radio message from the Dutchman. After qualifying, Verstappen once again noticed his disruptive Friday, which he missed due to minor reliability issues. We have to start making weekends less difficult for ourselves, said the world champion. Mercedes, on the other hand, compared to Ferrari and Red Bull, flattered to see, well, Red Bull especially, having come into Saturday is arguably the team to beat given their Friday form. Mercedes struggled in final practice and were distant in qualifying. Russell was on the occasion their slowest driver and was downbeat and perplexed after the session. We were a bit confused, to be honest. He said, yesterday we were in the fight for pole and today we qualified P12, which was the worst qualifying of the year, so it doesn't make a lot of sense. Toto Wolff said Mercedes worsened their car with experiments, while Hamilton did at least take confidence from an improved qualifying for himself. It was a much better qualifying session I've had for the last 3 races, so I'm grateful for that, to be honest, and I'll take it as a 7-time champ. Whether Mercedes can get back on the fight for the front this weekend is doubtful, but the inaugural Miami Grand Prix is setting up to be definitely an interesting one between the Ferraris and the Red Bulls, at least. And yeah, we're going to have an intriguing race tomorrow, but before I go, let me run you through the grid for tomorrow. And starting off with the top, Charles Leclerc on pole, and a great job from him. Yeah, you'd have to say he was one made a mistake in him, a pretty major one. Verstappen made a minor one today and he got punished for it. It led to Ferrari 1-2, and that's given him a great advantage for the race tomorrow. So close between Sainz and Verstappen, but pleased for Sainz. Hopefully that can give him a bit of a confidence boost. Perez close to Verstappen, so yeah, not terrible for him, but you know, as Verstappen to get a second one, maybe you'll be slightly disappointed he can get in front. Bottas in 5th, that's just an outstanding job from him. Yeah, he's just really thriving at Alfa Romeo, and ahead of his former teammate Lewis Hamilton is just brilliant for him. And I think Hamilton will be relatively happy. He should be able to get past Bottas tomorrow, you'd have thought. And yeah, 5th place is probably the maximum he could achieve tomorrow. And then Gasly in 7th after a tough race in Imola. I think he'll be pleased with that. Norris in 8th. Yeah, I don't know really. McLaren don't seem as competitive this weekend, but you know, still firmly in the top 10. With Tsunoda in 9th, here and Gasly have been pretty evenly matched. So yeah, the gap was quite a lot, so maybe Tsunoda will be slightly disappointed, but you know, still comfortably inside the top 10. Stroll has to be a star of qualifying, or one of the star of qualifiers, getting to Q3 in that track. A great effort from him. I think Alonso and definitely Russell will be disappointed to miss out on Q3, however. Yeah, I think they will be disappointed. Vettel as well, maybe in 13th with Stroll in 10th, which was unfortunate for him. Ricciardo seemed miles off, but Ted said he did have some sort of engine firing issue, which meant he couldn't warm the tyres up properly as he had to rush on the outlap, which obviously unfortunate for him. And then you got Mick Schumacher in Q1. It looked really promising for him, but you know, couldn't quite put it together in Q2, and now only starts one place ahead of his teammate Kevin Magnussen, but he was significantly faster. Magnussen had a broken team radio, so I don't know if that affected things. And then you got Guan Yu in 17th. Obviously got unlucky with the traffic, but you know, still that's a big gap for Bottas, which is disappointing for him. And then you've got Albon and Latifi. yeah, Albon's been up there a bit in practice, but it just didn't really happen for him. Latifi, fair play to him, he seems to be a bit closer today, and then Ocon didn't set that, obviously, which was hugely frustrating for him, because, you know, he probably would have had a chance at top 10, sorry. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, rate your thoughts, comments, down below, follow us on Instagram for daily F1 news, and subscribe to the channel on Instagram, and that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace.